Sis.
Hey, what's good?
No mucho, no mucho. Back for another week. We here. We here.
No, what happened?
All right.
Somebody was this much. What's good, Joe?
Nothing much, man. Just ready to get this show going. Do something for people tonight.
We got a good show.
Absolutely. We got a great show going. So we're gonna go ahead and get the show on the road. We got a special guest for y'all tonight. It is another episode of No Panties After Dark. Right here, it's yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe, as well as my sister from another Mr. Miss Pretty Brown Skin. And we are here to get this show.
No Panties After Dark. Your adult relationship, conversation, going where most don't. Speaking on things most don't. It's No Panties After Dark. We put the relations back into relationships.
All right. So tonight we got a special guest because we want to talk about some special things. You know what I mean? And he's gonna rock with us the whole show. And we're just gonna have some fun tonight. So without further ado, is it cool? Can we go ahead and bring up our guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, let's go. This is Mr. From another Mr. and sister. It's DJ all day, every day, Mr. DJ D-Dub.
What's going on, everybody? What's good, family? How's everybody doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I need you to do my intros for when I do events and clubs and stuff, since I'm getting back into everything.
Hey, I got you. You know what I mean? It's all good.
I appreciate that.
Hey, so, bringing you in, we want to first introduce you and let the people know who, what, how, and when as it pertains to Brother DJ T-Dub. So if you can go ahead and just enlighten the family out here and let them know, what's good.
Well, for those who know me, everybody calls me Dub, T-Dub, T. But for the ones who don't, DJ T-Dub, I've been DJing for, I'm not going to age myself, but let's just say I'm not too much younger than hip hop is. So I've been DJing that long. Put it this way. My cousin, DJ Tone, was good friends with, pardon me, he's good friends with a member of the Sugar Hill Gang, because I want to date myself. But nah, he's good friends with Wonder Mike. So they did a show at Lincoln High when I was a kid, and my mom had the little 110 camera. She has a picture, it's somewhere, of me on the stage with Sugar Hill Gang, my cousin and my brother DJing, and so that was my first introduction to like the music and everything. But then my auntie, she sung with the Cookies back in the day. Used to be backup for Ray Charles. So, you know, it's been in my family for, I guess you can say, generations. And then all my people, you know, my family, my mom and everybody was always into music, doing stuff. If it wasn't, you know, in the church, it was doing stuff secularly, just doing everything. And then I picked up the DJing part from my cousins and my brothers. And then I just took that and just ran with it. And then I stopped for a little bit. Then I got back into it. When I had my daughter, I stopped again. But yeah, DJ, man, I've DJed for some of your favorite artists. I'll say that. If I haven't done mixes for them, you know, done mixtapes or done anything. So it's, you know, it's been a very, it's been fun, I could say. And then I have a unofficial mentor, DJ Diamond. He told me one time, because I was like, man, I should have been here. So he was like, no, you have the respect. So take the respect. Don't worry about the money. Build on the respect and go from there. So ever since he told me that almost about 10 years ago, a little longer than that, I'm not worried about the money aspect. I'm worried about keeping the respect part. So I'm just a DJ who loves music, and, you know, 10 projects out or 9 projects out, working on my 10th one. So you guys, you know, just follow me and you'll see it. DJ T-Dub, the commission series.
Hey, that's what's up, man. And I especially like the part about you're a DJ that loves music. Because, you know what I mean? There's some DJs out here, you know, been to some parties, and DJs is mad. Like, they be mad. Like they're vinyl. You know what I mean? Like, they don't do like buttons on keyboards or nothing. Like, they just look like they mad. It's like a mad bus driver. Like, why are you driving the bus? There's people here. You know what I mean? There's some mad DJs out there, and you know what I mean? They don't love music like that because they just mad.
I used to be one of them with the new music coming in and the new stuff. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the new stuff, but I'm learning to appreciate it, because I had to realize, hey, this is generational. And what I don't want to do is what we tend to do in the hip hop community with our older artists, where we age them out, and we don't bring appreciation to the new ones and the new paths that they're blazing. So, you know, I'm learning to appreciate that more. So I feel
like that's the new move right now. That's the new move. I've been hearing some of the older artists come, Jay-Z and others, that's coming saying, hey, you know, we gotta respect the new ones and whatnot, you know. So I mean, I do that. I respect the new ones a lot. Like, sometimes, like, I don't just mumble in my sleep. I'll mumble like just while I'm standing there talking to people, and just be like, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I just like be talking to people.
Take a drink,
like
everybody.
I'll be talking to a client or whatever, and I'll just start. And then like all the little kids will just come running out the room, be like, oh, he's singing that so and so song. And I'm like,
Now it's funny, man. I did a birthday party because I took a sabbatical for a while, and I did a birthday party here recently. And the last hour of the birthday party, all I played was new music, and it was so funny because the one girl said, "Oh, we thought you was whack." I said, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "But you all right now?" I was like, "Cause I played this." She was like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking to myself, You know, yeah, and I was like, you know, you play music you don't understand and you guys like it, but I play stuff you can dance to and y'all don't like it. So it was just one of those crazy things, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
man.
like,
and my son, he's big into that shit. And I got to take him to the Lil Baby concert. He's like, you know what? You know why you're my favorite between you and my dad? My dad don't even know who Lil Baby is. I'm like, I'm going to go sit through this shit. The things we do for love, right?
Hey, look, I got a 17-year-old daughter and a younger sister who's about 17, 18. So guess what? I gotta listen to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So we got another guest coming through the door as well, and we'll let them come in the backstage first before we bring them on, and let them sit there for a little minute first.
What in the world?
Yeah, no, that's me. Because like I said, we're gonna keep her backstage until she's ready. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, with that in mind, then I guess we're gonna jump in on a little bit of celebrity news, right?
Or do you want to review the timeline? I think we posted a few things.
Got some timeline to review? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well,
I think we got some stuff to review. A little bit.
Okay. All right, cool. We can do that. Let's jump in. Hey, and you know, you got some love out there already. Like, you know what I mean? You from YouTube. Denise is giving shout outs.
Look, let me say, when I tell my story, like Denise she's gonna be a part of it because I have some very, very good people in my life. God has blessed me to have good people in my life, and I'm gonna leave it at that for now.
That's what's up. What you sipping on, T?
I just have some wine. I was gonna do tequila, but I realized that we played the drinking game, and I did tequila. I wasn't gonna make it tomorrow, so.
Hey Joe, she was gonna pull one of these numbers.
Oh, he knows.
Clutch her pearls.
Everybody knows.
She get the hit in that chest, boy. It's like, she know.
Everybody knows drinking game rules.
Yeah. So our resident,
you don't act right.
Our resident amazing therapist sister from another Mr. and another sister, Miss LaQuisha Moore, is here joining us tonight as well. Y'all know her from the Titty Powwow show, right? And with that in mind, she's one half of the Titty Powwow show. I don't know if she's the left or the right titty, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, she's here rocking with us tonight. And hey, Quiz. We can't hear you. I think tonight she's miming. Just do like this. Just like honk if you love Jesus and save your soul. Remember? Just do that. Yeah. So, but she'll be joining us with some volume after a while in a minute here. So, you know, let's do that. But we'll get into this timeline review. Let's see here. We'll pull that back and we'll go ahead and showcase screen share. All right. So we'll show y'all what we're looking at when we say timeline review. We just kind of go and grab our own timeline and showcase it. And I'm over here, you know, I'm camera. I pulled my camera back because I'm trying to conserve some bandwidth because Spectrum is out of order. They've been out of order for a minute, and we're working on white gloves, slapping them a few times.
Wow! Get your baby powder.
It's cancer-driven baby powder together. You know, it's toxic cancer talcum powder. All right, so let's jump in. Let's look at it. Let's see. If she don't like to wear underwear, she's extra toxic. True or false? DJ T-Dub.
That will be false.
Okay. False. She don't like to wear underwear. She's extra toxic. Okay. Pretty brown skin. Is that true or false? Is it true or false? Pretty brown skin.
You know what? as a member of Team Commando myself, I'm gonna say false.
Can y'all hear
If
me?
she don't like to wear underwear, she's extra toxic. That's false. Okay. All right. All right. So you're saying you're not toxic. I got you. I got you. Let's see. Britton Spence is saying true. Marcus Harris is saying true. Yeah, I'm gonna say true. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say true. She's toxic then. So she put
Can y'all
that
hear
I
in
me?
did
that.
just tell somebody.
And now, like just now, we heard you. Are you talking?
Good, good. Okay, we good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely toxic.
Did you did
I
you
don't.
did you finally? What happened? You cranked up enough electricity?
I don't even know what happened, but I'm glad y'all can hear me now. But yes,
Okay.
it's too many. I feel trapped in panties.
Okay. So we
You
got
know what though? It might be
we
true.
got
I did just tell somebody yesterday that I was nothing but light skin stress. And he said he wanted those
yeah
problems because he's crazy.
yeah.
Jesus.
So it might be true. It might be true.
This is all the type of shit that Jesus can't fix. That's what all this stuff is. All right. So I would say it's true as well. Most definitely. And it doesn't mean that if they do wear underwear, they're not toxic. That's for sure. All right, I know that. Okay, so stay strong, queens. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Dudes will try to date you with no dates. Stay woke. What are you talking about? Tell us what this
You
means.
done hunched yourself into a situationship. Means, ladies, and he can't take you out in public, don't give him the draws.
Okay,
You
that's
ever
not.
like be kicking it with somebody and you notice that, you know, saying you hanging out at their house and you're having lots of sex and you're never going on dates and now you're in a relationship? No, that doesn't count for him. Doesn't count.
No, that's
Don't
not
do it, ladies.
necessarily true though. Because here's the thing. All right, and you know me, I don't, especially when I'm busy, I don't have time to take you out on a date. A date could be, hey, come to this event with me, sit here, look good. I get you a drink, get you some food, take you home. I go home. So that's because I'm busy. And then I already got a 17-year-old broke girlfriend that I gotta buy Jordans for and spend money on all the time until she probably be paying for her for the rest of my life anyway. Because you know, when you have a daughter, you never have any money. So there you go. That's where all my money goes, right there.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you were saying your daughter? Okay, bro. Like I was like, you got a 17-year-old broke girlfriend.
Well, yeah, maybe I should have phrased that a little better.
I was like,
No R.
I know he's
Kelly.
gonna tell
No
us his
R. Kelly.
story, but I didn't know his story went this way. Like,
No, maybe I should have phrased that. Maybe I should have said having a daughter is like having a 17-year-old broke
okay,
girlfriend.
yeah,
How about that? That's a little
yeah,
better.
yeah, because you was like, and already got a 17-year-old broke girlfriend, and I was like, oh, you know how like cartoons where the eyes pop out and the mouth drop all the way down. That's the I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's what I mean.
Oh man, we couldn't see your face. I would have loved that.
Nah, y'all didn't see my face. All right, but yeah, so okay, go. I feel you. What you think, Quisha? Is are we, you know,
It's true, but I think the way you start. Sometimes I feel like it's the way you start off. I don't think nobody always have to take you out. I mean, if you already know each other or something, it might be different. But if you just meeting somebody, for one, why would you want the first interaction to be at your or their house when y'all strangers to each other? It's like a safety issue to me. But also, I
mean, for you
guess
especially because remember you toxic. You don't wear panties, so if you go into somebody's house, you know what I mean. First
you know what I mean.
first date, then
But I've
you
had
know
dudes ask me to come to their house, like, oh, come see me or something.
it's a
I'd be like,
definite safety issue for you.
yeah, I'd be like, he must drink too
Yeah,
much.
I'm not coming to see you.
Yeah,
I'm
both
not
you
coming
and
to take
T,
it out
y'all
on
both.
first date.
That's a definite safety issue for y'all. It's I don't know what this stay strong
Public
queens
place.
don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe mean, but sounds like a safety issue to me.
Well, I just don't think you should do that anyway. But if a man is interested in you, then he should at least take you out to eat or something. Like you just expect that you're just gonna start being in my space, or I'm gonna be in your space without us really getting to
And
know
you
each
ain't
other.
fed me yet.
what fed me, but not even just that, but just get to know me, like, figure out what I like, take me on a little date or something, let me know what I got to look forward to.
Man, I tell you what, I'm still trying to figure out what is the banana tailpipe mean. What does that mean? Because TB using all types of slang and stuff, man. I don't be getting it. It's what?
It's a Beverly Hills Cop reference. Yeah, I'm about to date myself, but that's a reference from the 80s where Eddie Murphy, the guy told him, he said, and we're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe trick. So it's a little reference to Beverly Hills Cop.
I figured
so what does it mean?
Catch that one.
What does it mean?
That mean they pull a fast one on you. That mean they put the stall on you.
Fall for the okie-doke.
Yeah, you put the banana in the tailpipe of a car and it chokes the car out. You can't go nowhere. So it makes you where you can't go nowhere. So don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You're stuck. You can't go nowhere.
I think I must have a dirty mind. Because I just automatically thought that had something to do with the banana in the ass. Like that's what I thought. A penis in the ass. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Not on the first date.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what y'all was talking about.
Not on the first date, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So
maybe on the second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you don't wear panties, then honestly, it's at least the second or the third. I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, I got a question. Does that day roll over? So if we start at 11 and then it rolls over to 12 a.m., does that count as the second date?
No, it does not count as the second date.
I mean, it's the second day, new day.
But I will say this: I am a firm believer in try before you buy. Because I had that happen to me where I waited. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a good girl. I'm going to wait. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to build something real. 8 weeks in, we got feelings for each other. Like, I like you, you like me. Like, we might be doing a little something. 8 weeks in, we finally go to do the grown up. It sucked. I broke up with him.
But
now I'm a firm believer in try.
Was it like one
I
time?
tried it for 2 more weeks and I just couldn't do it.
Dang, friend. That's sad.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I have no comment.
Yeah, I believe in try before you buy.
Pour out a little. Yeah, I'm gonna pour out a little.
Like before we commit.
That's just so sad and terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Just
it was
pour
bad.
out a little drop.
It was real bad. He still be hitting me up. He still be in my DMs. Like, well, what happened with us? I don't know, friend. I don't know.
If he's watching now, he knows now.
I was gonna say, if he's watching now, he knows.
Well, good. Then he'll stop DMing me.
Yeah.
Comedy.
All right, so let's check this out. Let's see. What's next? And I definitely want to get into this celebrity news because it's some fishy stuff. So. This is probably one of the first times I'm actually really like, okay, I'm gonna get into the celebrity news. You know what I mean? That you can't use. So so him tattooing someone's name on you. Are we still doing that, dude? That is so ridiculous. Like for real.
It is.
This is just dumb. Like for the sad part about this, I mean, is that we all are gonna go look up Justin Lamont in Facebook search, Instagram search. Just to see if this dude pops up. You know what I mean? We're all going to do it because that's the world of social media right now. We're all going to go do it.
Is this her husband?
I'm not.
I don't know. But I hope that he has some type, because I want to see if he's got a business or something going on. What is he? Is he selling tattoo stuff or stickers? Something. You know what I mean? Because I'm just thinking like, yeah, man, I'm just thinking he's got to sell. I mean, because right now, this is great marketing and advertising right now. 2.6 thousand
she's his property.
People, hit the and 2,000 people comment or 2,000 comments. You got 3.1 thousand people that have shared. I mean, I made do this myself and figure it out how to get it done. My wife would not let me do this to her. That's for damn sure. So I don't know.
She's smart.
I don't know. Exactly.
Didn't Nick
Yeah.
Cannon do it? He got Mariah across his back like it from shoulder blade to
He
shoulder
did. He covered it up too.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a
The
simp,
only
bruh.
woman
Covered it
I
up,
have
too.
on my body is my daughter. That's it. That's the only
I
woman's
don't have
name.
my kids. I don't
That
have
is
my
it.
kids' names tattooed on me. My oldest son is named after his father, so I just don't have their names tatted on me for that very reason. I was thinking about getting their dates of birth, but because I can't tattoo my oldest child's name, I don't have anybody tattooed on me.
Yeah, I have my my wife's name engraved on my heart. Then that's it.
That's sweet.
And but it's
That's
on the
sweet.
inside of my heart. Like I put it inside so nobody
Hey,
can see it. Like I
Phil.
had a surgery. I had
Another
a
drink, y'all.
I'm sitting here thinking, oh man, that's sweet. This is white. That's
Okay, take it serious.
yeah. I should have
I had a-
known.
I had a surgery.
We're gonna be
And-
drunk before the show's over, y'all. Just letting y'all
I
know.
had them go ahead and tattoo her name on my heart. You know what I mean? And they sewed me back up.
I
It
shoulda
took about
known.
2 weeks. It took about 2 weeks. You know what I mean? All the anesthesia and shit I had to, you know. So I'm just
I
saying.
hate it here.
That's what I did.
Hello.
I hate him.
Yo. So
Huh?
all right, let's peep this. Let's peep this next.
Yeah. Well, I am now.
Oh, and I have something for everyone that I need
Go
to
to
show.
Facebook.
I had something for
It's,
everyone that, I need to show. All right. So I just want to let y'all know that you know, for Black History's sake, then after 41 years, there are no holes in the pool tables in the Beat It video.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
You know what? I gotta. Okay. This is as a kid. You didn't notice this, but as a kid, there's a Getting Funky video with Kid and Play. DJ Wiz is scratching, but there's no needles and there's nothing on the turntables. It's just him fake scratching. Like it's a bunch of this stuff out there that you didn't notice when you were younger that you see now. And this one blew my mind when I saw that. I had to go literally look at the video
And look
at it.
if you look at the other tables, there's no holes in the other tables either. I don't think there's holes back
Somebody
here.
commented and
Like,
said it
like-
was a certain kind of table.
It's always one really person that's.
Is it a gambling table?
You know.
Like a
I don't know. Maybe let's look up a Quran table because it doesn't sound like the type of table where you would read about Allah. So let me just see.
I'm so done.
That's the that's the Holy Quran table.
I hate him.
That's not even the same table. So Laurie Murdoch, I just want you to know that no, you're not correct. Okay, it's not the right table. Okay, it's a totally different table. And okay, well maybe there's Quran billiards or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. She could possibly be right. I'm not sure.
You
These
think
are
she's right?
rabbit holes. You can end up going down. I mean,
love
I'm
a good rabbit
looking
hole.
at the table. We're looking up Quran tables. Oh, it's quite possible she's right. This is the type of table that you would play not pool on it. Apparently, there's a not pool game.
I'm done.
It's like you're playing pool, but you're not. So
What is a not pool?
apparently that is. So I mean, at least we all learned something today. That Quran tables
Educational.
exist. and you can. Yep, very educational. So, yeah, thank you, Pretty Brown Skin.
And I
for
saw
pointing out
Janet.
that she said that
I
and
saw
taking
I
us
saw
and leading
I
us
saw Janet
down
last
that
weekend.
rabbit hole.
I saw Janet last weekend, and the mic was on. The mic was on. Janet was singing. Janet sounded good. Janet danced for 90 minutes straight with no breaks. Janet got good knees. I was impressed.
I love her. Is that who you about to
Nice.
put up? Shit. What's her name?
So
Sugar Seven.
let's peep this out, and we'll make this the last.
Have to worry. Foreign women are grateful. Yes, they are, because your money is worth more wherever you go. They're grateful, you know, that you spending money on them. You still spending money on them. We flew out to America. Okay. Your Uber money go a long way across Asia. But you have a good old time because you need to feel you
Spectrum is not
can't
letting
just
me
be
great,
working
bro.
Uber and call center all your life and go y'all money is valuable, because it ain't valuable here. Sprinkle.
Hey, but the sprinkle though, that's what got me.
I love it.
Like, is that like that's like Dave Chappelle or something? It sounds like some shit he would do. Sprinkle at the end of saying something.
I'm gonna reserve
hilarious.
my comment.
Nah, go ahead. Let's talk about that. So before we get into celebrity
It's
news, let's
every
talk about
time
that.
it's
Let's figure out.
her denigration of people is annoying. But then that sprinkle at the end is like, I can't take you serious after that. You could give me a dissertation on quantum mechanics, quantum physics, how to build a Rosenthal Einstein bridge. And if you put sprinkle at the end, everything you said after that is null and void. It's like having an apology and saying, but it just null and void after that. I just can't take her serious with that sprinkle shit. That is the most annoying. It just it's like infuriate. I hate the air she breathes. Like
It's
but
supposed
you know what?
That's a goal. She's achieving it.
I just I'm sorry.
But she just I think she just obtained like something that like it. Look, we're sitting here talking about it. You know what I mean?
True.
So it sounded like it might have did what it was supposed to do, because here we are talking about it, and that was the first thing I noticed. Like sprinkle. That sounded like some shit Dave Chappelle would say. Like you know what I mean? Like sprinkle, nigga. What? You know what I mean? That sounds like some Dave Chappelle shit. So you know what I mean? I feel like that really like was a marketing ploy accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
We didn't talk about the shit she said. We didn't talk about the passport bros. We was like sprinkle, and all we wanted to do now is go listen to the next video so we can see if at the end of that shit she said sprinkle. See, I hate this bitch. She keeps saying it's sprinkle.
I just do, man. Like her oxygen just annoys me. Like that sprinkle.
Do you think
Don't breathe around me.
Do you think it's because of the message that she's sending to women about like just taking advantage of men or making sure you get their money? Or like, I do feel like when I watch her, I feel like she's been hurt, like that she lacks empathy to some.
All I'm gonna say is sit back and relax till later, and then you'll see why I do not like this woman.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! That's right. We got some shit to talk about. Yeah. So since we got some shit to talk about, I tell you what, we're gonna go to commercial real quick, and then we'll be right back, y'all. And when we come back, we're gonna do celebrity news you can't use, and we're gonna rip through that. We got some good stuff to talk to y'all about. Just think about the Brad Just think about the brat's baby donor. Just think about the baby that the brat is having, and figure out which one is the girl and the brat. We'll be right back. Like I said, right here, it is No Panties After Dark.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
I don't need to sit at your table. We building one. We in the process of building a table. We building a table. I don't gotta sit at your table. I'm building my own table, and I will build you a table in the presence of your enemies.
No panties after dark. Your adult relationship conversation. Going where most won't. Speaking on things most don't. It's no panties after dark. We put the relations back into relationships.
What's going on, everybody? We are back, and hey, it's No Panties After Dark. It's truly Mr. Just Ask Joe. I got my hostess with the mostest, my sister from another mister, Miss Pretty Brown Skin. We got Miss LaQuisha Moore, our resident therapist from the Bow Wow Show, as well as our special guest tonight, Brother T-Dub. Can't call him DJ T-Dub because I know him too much. You know what I mean? Now that I know him, I just call him T-Dub. So that's what's up, y'all. We're back, and we're gonna get into some celebrity news that you can't use. Have a little fun with that. Think y'all gonna enjoy the celebrity news tonight. Go ahead, Miss Pretty Brown Skin. Take it away. Let us hear about that celebrity buffoonery.
All right, so I know y'all know that Brett and her wife Judy, they pregnant, right? And they letting Brett's carrying the baby because Brett's never been pregnant before. Judy has 3 kids of her own and a grandchild. So they recently revealed.
Hold on. Before you move further, I'm just trying to figure out. They're lesbians, right?
Yes.
Man, I just would hate to be I would hate to be the baby daddy of a lesbian. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know, but that would really make me feel inadequate. Like I couldn't feel, like especially if you was the last, if you was the last one before the spaceship arrived. If you was the last one before she became the L word, then you know what I mean? Like, what does that say about you?
I gotta take.
You know, I mean,
I ain't getting to the alcohol fast enough.
I'm just saying.
Look, I just
like-
DoorDash you some champagne because y'all stress me out. No.
It's Joe. He never has any act right. Like we just can't get him to be.
I'm just saying. I mean, think about that. Like, look, I've had a ex-girlfriend that went lesbian, and I asked, I was like, how many years? It's been 2. Oh, like, you have many boyfriends yet? Oh, okay. So it wasn't me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because I would hate to be the last one. Like, man, like, and now she's in the limelight because she's Brat's girl, and now the dude is now going to be in the limelight. People going to want to know who that last baby daddy was. Who was that last dude?
Her kids are grown.
Don't matter. They could be Abraham Lincoln's age. But guess what?
Shit.
People going to want to know who the hell that last. You know what I mean? Quisha, tell us. Like, I know I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take over celebrity news. But haven't you, in counseling, has there ever been a situation where, dude came in and he was like,
I'm going to finish this whole bottle of wine tonight.
I'm here because I was the last one.
My baby mom switched teams on me.
So I got a funny story to tell. I was young though. I dated a guy who he was going. I guess the girl before me. We was teenagers, but the girl before me started dating a girl that he had been with like for a year or two. And he was like, I got something to tell you. And then he told me that she was gay. And then he was like, and also, I love you. And I was like, I'm going to call you right back.
Damn.
I didn't even know what to say.
He's still waiting on that phone call, ain't
he? You know it. Nah, I'm just playing. Now, we was friends or whatever. I felt bad for him, though, because that is a young age to kind of like go through that, probably have some confusion or whatever. But I don't never think it's on the dude that a girl chose that.
I don't know, but
no, I
still wouldn't
do to me to make me want a female. Nothing.
I mean, I don't know. That ain't the way they talk. When you hear the talkery out there, they talking like it was the dude that did something. These niggas, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. I just wouldn't want to be the last one.
Already in you.
Yeah.
You switched teams. It was already.
He was already. Exactly. After he was already in you. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, it's something messed up about. I just wouldn't want to be the last one. I'm just saying, like, it don't even matter. I just wouldn't want to be the last one. That's it. I learned that today's years old. So I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So let's go. Let's finish up this. This is the Brat. This is some news, celebrity news you can't use. The Brat and her girlfriend boy. Dude,
so
husband,
they recently revealed that they are expecting a son, and they went through artificial insemination. They used the donor, and they had the process narrowed down to 300 donors, but only one of the donors was black, and they said that he was like Jiminy Cricket or Moon Cricket or whatever, so they didn't use him because they didn't want to have an ugly baby, so they got a white donor. Social media is in an uproar. They're like, well, if you just wanted a light-skinned baby with good hair, you should have just said that. But listen, I ain't gonna hold you. If we had the ability to say, this person is ugly, and we would make an ugly baby with this person, wouldn't you say, I ain't gonna do it?
Okay, you know what? All I'm gonna say is men have access to finances and protection and security. Women have access to sex. I'll just leave it like that.
How is that?
Because
they use the donor.
Yeah, but even if they didn't, women can say it's easier for a woman to have sex than it is a man. So.
No, I was wondering when you said men had access to money and protection and something else. And I was wondering how would women be exempt from that when even most black women make more money than a lot of black men.
I was just speaking in the sense of the
Is
access.
that the donor?
Ew.
That's not him.
I wouldn't choose that as my donor.
Let me
either.
see him again.
That's definitely a man.
Oh God.
Let me see him.
Oh my God! Y'all making my head hurt.
Hey, Joe,
Stop.
put the picture back up so we can see. Like, did you just make up something? I can't see it.
Joe is off the chain.
Oh my shit!
I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing Joe losing his shit.
Oh shit!
I wouldn't choose that either. I mean, if that's what the only black donor look like, I'd be like, oh, give me a white guy. I would too. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh shit! That shit.
I ain't gonna hold you. I would.
What do y'all think about people getting donors at all for babies and stuff? Like,
hey, listen.
especially
if you have the resources, and that's what you want to do, and you have the resources and the means to do it, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I just want to say that if I were to,
oh my God, my lash.
you know, if I were to pay $4.99 for that shit,
This is the
I
third
would
time
be
you have made me
so
cry
mad.
eyelash off. I hate it here. He makes me cry eyelashes off all the time. I hate it here.
I'm just saying, if that was, if you know, that's $4.99. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, purchase a license, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? If I wasn't even here yet, I would tell them motherfuckers like, no, don't. I wasn't even born. I'd be like, nah. I don't even want to come out looking like that. No.
Postcards from heaven. Definitely postcards from heaven.
Yo, for real. Like,
but
you know what I
literally,
mean?
they only had one black donor though.
Yes.
Yep.
If the black donor looked like that, I would say, get me a white guy. I ain't gonna hold you. I would.
Hey, but yeah, they had one black
They
donor.
didn't have no mixed dudes.
And you know what he looked like? He looked like that.
Oh God.
You know he wrong.
It's dead wrong. Probably got somebody watching the show that look dead like it right now. Too.
Right.
Shit, the last episode that we did, he was so bad. I thought we was gonna get roasted on social media the next day. But this right here, this might get us.
I'm just saying, like,
he
I mean,
never acts right.
if you you know what I mean, if you had to deal with, you know, these choices, then you would be mad too. Like, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
You know, T.
Get somebody else to
be
do
one of
it.
the choices.
Get somebody else to fucking do
I'm
it.
saying.
Get somebody else to fucking
And
do
need
it.
his teeth. You don't need his teeth. You need his skin. You need his melanation. You know what I mean? Like, just because his teeth is like that don't mean the baby's gonna come out like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You know,
right.
if he has
Please tell me what
less
you put
hair,
in your search
something
engine
like
though.
that.
That's what I want to know. What is it?
Oh, you don't want to know. Honestly.
He had 3 rows of teeth though.
I just want to know what he typed in the search engine to find these pictures. What is that?
It's Joe. His mind.
Y'all don't even know. You have to
He ain't
rewind
right.
it to figure it out.
He ain't
so.
right. That's all I'm gonna say. Is he ain't right. I mean, so do you guys think that's a form of self-hate to say, "Get me the white guy"? I'm not using that because that's what social media is saying.
I mean,
but
before, women can choose who they sleep with, and she could choose who she gets her fluid from.
Sperm from, yeah.
Gets pregnant with. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Brad's
I mean,
having
I don't know. I just yeah, I mean, but I just feel like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm just feel like if I'm the Brad, why is there only one black candidate in there anyway? Like, I don't even understand. Like,
So Judy,
I just
Judy
don't
broke
wonder
it
why she
down.
couldn't find somebody she
Why-
knew
why-
that would be willing to do it.
Well, okay, so Judy broke it down. So
Yeah, because I'd have did it.
you know, they had to do genetic testing to make sure that the donor was going to be compatible because they used one of Judy's eggs. So apparently she's the carrier for a lot of things. Maybe like, I don't know, she didn't specify. She might be the carrier for like sickle cell or whatever. So she's the carrier for quite a few things. And they had to find a donor that was not the carrier for the same things to give them the odds of having a healthy baby. Because, you know, anytime you have a baby over the age of 35, that's a geriatric pregnancy. You're at risk for Down syndrome, autism, and all that shit. So they had to find a donor that was compatible. So by the time they got all the genetic testing down and found the donors that were compatible to them, they had 300 donors. And of that 300 donors, only one of them was a black guy. And they said that he looked like a moon cricket. And they said, get somebody else to do it. We don't want an ugly baby. So, I mean, and I get that. I understand. I don't think it's a form of self-hate, but social media went in on them.
I think if you go into your Google search and you type in Jiminy the Cricket looking ass black dude, that you'll find the dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Probably.
His picture will pop
And
up.
then,
Because all I did was type in.
Information at all.
And I understand why they didn't use somebody that they know. Like, could you imagine, like, you know, saying like Joe, I'll be like, I want to have a baby. Joe gives me his juice and I have a baby. And like, we're still real close friends. You come over and kick it with me and little Junior running around looking just like you, making the same face. That shit would be awkward. And you Uncle Joe, but you really daddy. That would be awkward. So I get why they didn't use somebody that they know. Tito said he's never coming back again. He will not behave over here.
And she said,
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking.
That's Uncle Joe, but you daddy. That just
Yeah. Hey, bruh. But that's funny because growing up, listen, my family's Jamaican. And so, yes, Jamaican men, there's a lot of truth to the baby world that's created by Jamaican men. So I, growing up, thought Aunt Nora was Aunt Nora, my grandfather's friend. You know, we would go to North Carolina to see her. It wasn't Aunt Nora. So I guess, you know, there's a lot of cultures where people don't believe in getting divorced or whatever. And in Jamaican culture, they just go out and buy a pack of cigarettes and that's it. You know, I just see this motherfucker again. So, you know, I mean, my grandmother, grandfather, they were split for like years. They, you know what I mean? That's just what they were. And I grew up thinking Aunt Nora was our aunt, and she wasn't.
Oh, she was Granddaddy's special friend.
She was Granddaddy's special friend. That's what she was. But we would go and visit.
When he passed away, what they put in the funeral program, that's what I want to know. Was she his special friend, his companion, loyal companion?
Man, I'm just saying, you know, I don't even know if she was dead. I don't know. But I was a kid. But I'm just saying, I remember. I just remember that. And when you said that, I was like, oh shit. No. Yeah. All right, continue. Celebrity news nobody can use.
Okay. So speaking of babies, Krishan Rock, she's having a boy. Congrats to them. Kudos.
Congrats.
Baby Blueface.
I feel sorry for the world.
Pretty kids.
She's a really pretty girl.
Who?
She got.
You say she does or he does?
Blueface. She doesn't have any kids, but his other kids are really, really pretty. His son.
Well, he's mad at her
recently.
He's mad at her now because she got a tooth fixed. So they ain't together no more. She got a tooth put back in. She comes to her senses. She put a tooth in. She's having a baby boy, and they ain't together no more. Well, at least they wasn't last week.
But that's messed up though. Like when you get into a situation, you have a conversation, like, you know, why y'all break up? Ah, shit, I put my tooth back in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how does that conversation even work or go? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, you know what I mean? I put my tooth back in, so we broke up.
I mean, every time she try to put that tooth in, they be on the outs. She got a tooth in,
and you're not even.
He's wowing.
and you're not even like, and like you have that conversation, and you're not even standing anywhere near a trailer park. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. It just, you know what I mean? Because that conversation definitely, that's a trailer park conversation. I'm just saying, like we broke up because I put my tooth back in. That is literally some shit that is at the end of the mud road with the little strip of grass in the middle that's going down the middle of the trailer park, you know, community. You know what I mean?
That is definitely a West Virginia conversation.
Absolutely, bro. I grew up in Richmond, VA. So yes, absolutely. You know what I mean? I know. But
all right.
Yo,
Next on
go ahead,
celebrity
sis.
news, Cher and Amber Rose's baby daddy, she finally came to her senses when she broke up with him. I think there's a 40-year age gap. He was just there spending all her money anyway. So they were supposed to be getting married and she called it off.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, she came to her senses. All right, and the last thing in celebrity news, I wouldn't call it celebrity news, but it's local here in Louisville, where I'm at, where Joe's at. Down to the McDonald's, they had caught 2 10-year-olds working at the McDonald's at 2:00 in the morning.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. The McDonald's on Taylor Boulevard. Now, so you know what I want to know is, are y'all hiring? Because my daughter TJ, she 10, and she need a job because she's expensive. We was in the beauty supply store yesterday, and the lady said, "How old are you?" And she said, "I'm a decade." And she and her spending up all my money. She need a job. McDonald's, is y'all hiring? But listen, bedtime is 10 p.m. on school night, so she gotta be done by 9. But yeah, they called
That was
now.
They were Mexican.
But listen, so what they said was the manager, the night shift manager, it was actually her kids. And I guess so what it sounded like to me was she had to go to work, she had no babysitter, and she brought her kids to work with her and said, "Get over and get on them fries." Because they wasn't paying the kids. That's what it sounded like to me.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't even think that they said get on them fries. I think that, like, see, when kids are young enough, they like doing work.
They do.
You know what I mean? Like when my kids were like 3, I would give them the vacuum and let them push it around. They just enjoyed it. You know, it's like, you know, and I'd say push over there. And then after a while, they like they pushed all over the whole living room. You know what I mean? So, you know, they like stuff. And yeah, now you can't, you know, pay, but that's, you know, again, you know, that has to be continuity among mom and dad. Like, hey, you got to teach them, you got to let them play with the vacuum. They like playing with the vacuum. So, you know what I mean? But, you know.
Right. And which is why I'm about to go take my child over to that McDonald's and get her an application because she need a job. TJ need a job.
Yeah, they probably was just having fun. Working, but I'm telling you, I think I know which McDonald's it was because there's one on Bardstown and Taylorsville Road, and I went in there today, literally, and I went to just use the restroom, you know, because I drive around for work, and there's the last bench booth area right by the door. There was a TV monitor with some kids' screen going on. And you know, it looked like a kid would be sitting there. And now that I think about it, now that there wasn't a kid, I know there wasn't a kid, they probably were back there working. Mm-hmm. So that's why they weren't sitting at the table at the time.
Oh, we're getting them fries at the grease.
Yeah, on fry duty. Yep. So what's anything else for celebrity news you can use?
Look, my son just texted me that he took the trash out. I ain't have to ask him. I have to yell at him.
Look, you didn't have to ask about it. Look, he did it already.
Oh no, but listen. Yeah. So I'm a real laid back parent, but also there's rules and regulations. So everything's smooth and it's cool and it's copacetic. You do what you're supposed to do, and I do what I'm supposed to do. We're gonna all be best friends. The minute that you don't do what you're supposed to do, they know. So he wasn't gonna forget to take that trash out.
Yeah. So that's what's up. Any more celebrity news we can't use?
That's all I got. We can't use none of that shit.
That's what's up. Folks, we're gonna go to break real quick. We're gonna come right back. And when we come back, man, we got, we want to talk to y'all. The whole title of the show tonight is Do Black Men Need Therapy? You know what I mean? That's the title. We want to talk about that because it's good stuff. It's good information, and we got some stories to share, all that good stuff. All right, so we'll be right back here on No Panties After Dark.
Hey folks, check out HealthDaddyWow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, HealthDaddyWow.net. Remember, HealthDaddyWow.net.
No panties after dark. Your adult relationship conversation. Going where most won't. Speaking on things most don't. It's no panties after dark. We put the relations back into relationships.
All right. We got Sis coming back in, and let's see if we can hear Quisha. You gotta say something.
Sorry, I'm here. I had it muted. I didn't
Okay.
Yep.
Just check it.
I know.
All right. We got Miss Pretty Brown Skin that's dipping back in here in a second, folks. Who is coming back in? Did you just pop a champagne?
My favorite.
She just popped the bottle.
Okay. Exactly.
Sweet Red Corbel.
That's what's up. Sweet Rose, I got you. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
I told you I ordered some. They came to the door, and then my son was calling, trying to get help with his paper. My daughter's working on a float. It's nice, ain't it?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, you popping bottles over there. That's what's up.
Right?
Well, cool. So, we're gonna jump into it. Sis is gonna join us here shortly, and you know, as we look at things, you know, one of the reasons why we wanted to do this night as we did it, which is you know, right here with T-Dub. He's got a story to share. He wants to talk about some things. We want to talk about the idea of, do Black men need therapy? All right, so that's the big thing right here. You know, through the years, I can admit, you know, we have fallen short as a community, as it pertains to that. You know, when it comes to therapy, you know, it's a situation where we don't do it. You know, hey, but before we jump into that, I want to make sure we give a shout out to Matthew Johns, Denise. We got Marcus Harris, Britton Spence. You know, the crazy thing is there's 500 people watching, right? But between a couple different platforms, you know, YouTube, whatever. But you know, people don't comment as much. You know what I mean? And I think they're scared. They're scared that we're gonna, you know, pull them up, call them out. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, Matthew, like he said, he's in therapy right now. Like, he's literally sitting there with his therapist. He's on the couch. He's on the other couch. They're looking at each other talking, and he like pulled out his phone and jumped on YouTube to see the show, because you couldn't miss, you know, No Pennies After Dark with DJ T-Dub. And he's like, he just told his therapist, he's like, hold up 1 second. And the therapist kept talking, and he's like, shh. You know what I mean? As we told his therapist, he's like, yo, hold on, I gotta catch the show. So, you know, do Black men need therapy? That is definitely one of the big things here, is, do Black men need therapy? So, you know, without further ado, and I don't want to hold any, because, you know, I mean, even with Matthew, he's probably paying by the hour, I would assume. You know, most therapists charge by the hour. So I don't want to hold up his therapy any more. And let's go ahead and get into it. You know, DJ T-Dub, man, you know, take it away. Let's talk about it, and tell us what's on your mind when it comes to this whole Black men in therapy thing.
All right, so do Black men need therapy? Yes, all men need therapy, and it's just, pardon me, it's because of the battles as a man that you face day in and day out that nobody knows about, that the battles that you face alone that you go through. And then as Black men, we have to fight even more therapies. Like, I was dating someone, and I had to remind her that Black people as a whole, we deal with conscious and unconscious racism. We deal with subtle and unsubtle racism, overt and inadvertent racism. So as a Black man who's lived since the mid 70s, to put it that way, I'll just say I'm 48. As a Black man who's 48 and who's been through a bunch of ups and downs in my life, yes, we do need therapy. We definitely need therapy. And so with my story, I'm going to go back to 2010 when I was going through my separation and divorce. And it was because of, I was in therapy, but I wasn't in therapy. So I was in therapy and I was doing it, but I was half-assing it, if that makes any sense. I wasn't being forthright and honest with the therapist. So I got a little help.
So let me ask you a question. When you say that you weren't being forthright with the therapist, who started the therapy? Was it you? Was it her? Was it who said, I'm going to therapy?
I did. Like my ex-wife, she's a good person. And you know, it was her telling me I needed therapy because of the issues I'm dealing with beforehand. So I was talking to her, and this one before we got divorced, when I was in therapy, but I wasn't, like I said, I was in it, but I was half-assing it because I wasn't telling the therapist everything. I was telling them partial, because it wasn't that I didn't feel comfortable in my head. I was like, well, I'm going to tell somebody who I don't know anything about my life I was thinking for them to judge me. So that was that problem. So
and the only reason why I ask is because a lot of times when it's not like us saying, the individual saying, hey, I'm going to go get some therapy because I need it. Like when it's not us, then a lot of times it's a situation where, we don't take it as serious because somebody else told us that we needed to go. You know what I mean? And then it's after we get there and we begin, because, if you got a good therapist, they know how to break them walls down. You know what I mean? Because that's all it is. It's just walls that we're putting up. So, I want to go too deep into it, but we'll keep talking about it as we go along because you know where I'm going.
Yeah, no, trust me. We're going to get into the weeds because that's what happened eventually. So then fast forward to I'm dealing with a young lady, and in my head, I'm caught up in the looks, the body, the attention that she gets, but I'm not thinking about the back end stuff. So what happened is, I changed my whole life around and I start to alienate people that I was once close to. And it wasn't anything that I did consciously. It was more subconsciously because I wanted to continually please her, which was dumb in itself because I ended up, and I'll admit this, and anybody who knows me knows how I feel about my daughter, I ended up really cutting time from my child to make sure that this woman was happy, if that makes any sense. So I went through that bad season and then trying to repair the relationship with my daughter at a young age to let her know dad is here. And then I dealt with the ups and downs and the ins and outs and the infidelities of that relationship. And I think the tipping point for me to get therapy on my own when I was dealing with that was when she drove off in a car with a friend, and she was in the car and I seen them and then they drove off. So me being the person that I am, I went and got livid and I was mad and I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and I was going to destroy this and hurt this one. And then honestly, it was like something was like, look, you have a child that needs you. So you need to do one or two things: separate yourself from the situation and seek help. So me being dumb and quote unquote in love, I didn't separate myself from the situation, but I did go to therapy and I started going to therapy, and I was in therapy for about 6 months for that. And in that session, or those therapy sessions, what I learned is there's nothing wrong with me. People make choices. People make good choices and bad choices in life. When you're in a relationship, everything boils down to a choice. You can't control what somebody else is doing in their life with their choices. All you can do is how you react to it. So then I chose to leave that situation. Was still in therapy, going through, trying to deal with myself. And it was about a year of just dealing with myself and enjoying my, I guess you can say, newfound way of life. So then I met another young lady and everything was good. And you fast forward to the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I'm thinking, all right, cool. I've had therapy. I'm good. I don't need it. But during the pandemic, that put people in a situation where they had no one to rely on but the people in their four walls. Well, in my four walls.
And let's just say this. The pandemic, I just want to put this out there. Fuck the pandemic, all right? Because it tore apart a whole lot of families. The problem is that there's people that don't even understand the level of, even the minute levels of toxicity that they have within themselves. They subconsciously took advantage of the separation that the pandemic created, and there's certain levels of potential manipulation that, especially when you're talking custodial and non-custodial parent, there's certain levels of manipulation that have been had with kids and things of that nature. Fuck the pandemic. It tore families apart. outside of the financial thing that the American government was trying to do as they planned that. But carry on, brother. Carry on.
No, and that's true. So, and well, people had family and people had kids in my four walls. All I had was myself and Fire Sticks, a computer, and a PlayStation. So you tend to dwell in your head a lot. And what I did, instead of taking that time being outside by myself, I chose to isolate myself. And I started to change from a person that I was beginning to enjoy to a person I didn't even know. It was to the point where I would, anything that had to do with her or a situation or something I didn't like, instead of me handling it like a grown man, I would lash out on social media. I would send out like just different little posts, talking about the person, saying stuff, being very passive aggressive. And then if it was brought to my attention, I would either lie or say no and say, this is the situation or this is not the situation. And then it was to the point where when she told me one thing, I said, well, hold on, I can't be that bad of a person because I'm doing this, this, and this, and this. I'm making sure this is good, this is good, this is good. And then I went to a point where I was sitting at home and I went to the store, and I never forget, I came back, I parked my car, and I sat down on the edge of the bed, and I said, you know what? I can't continue to go on like this because all my energy was spent on social media, watching things, watching people, seeing if somebody said something, seeing if somebody did something, and that was my whole total being. So I had friends that I could call and we would watch movies together. We would be on the phone, but it wasn't anything that was, I guess you could say, substantial. So then I started talking to one therapist, and he was great. But then our time started getting messed up when he moved out west. So then I got Coach Tiff and Coach Twan. And what they did is something that I tell anybody. If you need really good coaching and you're scared to talk to somebody that's not Black, but you want a Black therapist, they were amazing. They're a husband and wife duo. And what they did was not only break down the walls, but she let me talk about what I wanted to do. Because in my head, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get this woman back, I'm going to do that. But that wasn't her mindset. Coach Tiff's mindset was, I'm going to let him say that, but I'm going to make sure, and this is what she told me. She said, I was going to make sure that you knew that, one, you didn't need anybody else in your life but you, and two, that you're good enough for whatever you need to do. And she tore down those walls, and it went from a place of me being very angry and mad and then hurt and very emotional all the time to really finding myself and learning very different. I don't want to call them, I hate calling them tricks. I like calling them tools, life advancing tools to help me when I come across different situations now. So fast forward, I was still on social media, and then I had a talk with a friend of mine, and they were like, look, sometimes you just need to separate yourself. So I went and talked to the greatest person, one of the greatest women I know, my mother. I said, Mom, I got a question for you. I said, when you go through stuff, what do you do? She said, and she calls me by my government name. She said, and this is what I know she's serious. She said, Terrence, let me tell you something. She said, I don't like the path that you're going down. She said, so what I'm going to do, baby, what we going to do right now, we're going to stop. We're going to pray about it. And you're going to go home and you're going to ask God to give you a direction in life. When you hear that from your mother, the first thing you think of, oh gosh, she's being religious, blah, blah, blah. But when you do it and you feel the love coming from her prayers, and you know that this woman who damn near died having you has your best interests at heart, and you go home and then you do it. and then you do the work, you do the journaling, you do the scrolling, you do the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom speaking tongues, don't it?
Oh man, that woman is amazing. That woman.
Yeah. You know what? That's how I know, because that's the only time you get prayers like that you can feel is if it's somebody that's speaking tongues. If they, you know what I mean? I should about 100 days. You know what I mean? If they, you know what I mean? They right there.
Yeah.
That's you feel that you know what I mean? Afterwards, you feel like everything's been lifted. Nah, I'm with you, bro. I feel you. My mom was like that too. You know what I mean? She died 2015. Rest in peace, Julia Tapper. But I tell you what, man, that this was, you talk about women that shed a tear when they're in church. You know what I mean? Like, for reals.
And this woman has been through like a lot. I'll just say a lot. So I do that, and I come home and I said, you know what? I'm going to take 6 months and just worry about myself. I was talking to my sister. I'm just take 6 months to worry about myself. So I got off social media August 30th, 2021. And it was the best 6 months of my life. So I said, you know what? I didn't even put a timetable on it. I said, I'll get back up there when I want to get back up there. Now, the thing that hurt was I had a couple cousins die that I didn't know about until they, you know, I got the word via phone call, and a lot of changes. But my thing, and the reason I'm telling this tonight, is because I would not still be alive if it wasn't for, when I went away, people like Denise, people like Matt, my whole team of DJs, T calling and checking on me, texting me, where you at? I don't see you on. You good? What's going on? And I would be able to talk to him. Good friend of mine, Relisha, and my siblings, Jermaine, Toya, Mo, like Ty. It was when they say it takes a village to raise a child, that's true, but it also takes a village to keep people from going off the deep end. Because, and not saying that I'm suicidal, by no means, but there were some nights where I would be up all night, up all day, doing this 24-hour cycle. Then comes to find out my AFib was to the point where it was very critical. So now, not only am I dealing with my mental issues, I have to deal with my health issues. And the whole time, the only thing I could think about was I cannot leave this earth without my daughter being an adult. So that took me to a place where I had to work on doing everything possible. When I tell you I was in such a bad place, Joe, I had lost 70 pounds. I was from 380, I was at 290. I swole up. I gained 120 pounds off of depression, off of non-mobility, off of just doing nothing but worrying about the wrong things. When I finally got to therapy, when I finally took it serious, it got me to the point now where not only am I past unbothered, it takes an act of God to take my temperature, my anger from 0 to 5. When I tell you I am, when people say they are totally unbothered, I am the epitome of unbothered. If you were to slap my mother, the only thing that I could tell you, I would shoot you, but I would not get angry. I would literally put you in the ground, but I would not get angry. I have no time for it. So a lot of my issues was, and I'll be the first to admit, a nice guy. And I'm not saying that hyperbole, I am. But
you really are. I can vouch for you.
She can. But what I've done was I had to get myself to the point where I don't let a female dictate my worth. I was letting females dictate my worth to them, when if I'm doing and being the provider, but you're telling me I'm still not good enough, I'm in my head like, well, what do I do to be good enough? Now, I'm not good enough. Hey, hate to see you go. Love to watch you leave. Ain't nothing I can do about it. It's to that point. And the thing that I've told myself, and when people ask me where I've been, and I just tell them, look, just dealing with some stuff, working on me. And I said tonight I was going to tell everybody, especially black men who go through stuff, men in general, but for black men, because we have this stigma in our community that we don't need therapy, that we supposed to be a man, we could tough it out. Oh, suck that shit up. Don't worry about it. You a man, handle that shit like a G. No, guess what? This is only as big as your head is. And guess what? There's more space in the universe than it is in your head. So get it out. Talk to somebody. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is find yourself in a dark place, because the things that you think of when you're in a dark place is really not good. It is really not good. So,
I read it. This makes me think. I read a somebody's post the other day, and it said, "Y'all women out here worried that your man, whether or not he cheating on you, but you're not worried about whether or not he's depressed." You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of the things that you're saying, they resonate with me, because I genuinely try to be a nice guy, and I think that's just in me, and it you know, a lot of time. But here's the thing: like, I grew up, you know, same as a lot of us, you know, that have, you know, in this space, you know, we grew up from nothing, you know, grew up in the hood. So, I mean, I'm not somebody, like, I wouldn't want to fight me. Okay. So, but my traditional demeanor on a day-to-day basis, I'm a very nice person. Right. So, sometimes that can get taken advantage of. Sometimes that can be something that, you know, somebody takes that for granted, thinking that, you know, because they're used to someone who's very has a very low EQ. You know, people sometimes are used to someone that has a very low EQ, meaning their emotional intelligence is very low, meaning they pop off at the snap of a finger. And I'm not like that. It you know, there's got to be some things that happen for me to pop off. It's built up. And, you know, with that in mind, man, it's just everything that you're saying, it really resonates, because, you know, when it comes to suicide, you know, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, who hasn't thought about it at least once? You know what I mean, who hasn't thought, like, yo, all of this will be over with if I just sleep and I don't wake up.
Let me tell you, when I was I went from, I say, the end of 2021 until last year. I was in the hospital 13 different times, which is crazy. Just dealing with my heart. Had I not had the coaching from Coach Tiff and Coach Twan, and then at the time I was dealing with the young lady, Allison, and had my mom, my family, the people that called and checked on me. Had I still been in that dark place when I was in the hospital, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be here. I can unequivocally say that, and unapologetically say that I know I wouldn't be here. But
because a lot of people don't really realize how emotional stress and physical stress go hand in hand. Emotional stress can dictate physical stress. You know, I mean, you go through trauma for a couple years with a trauma-stricken person, and the next thing you know, you're going to the doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, we need to put you on these diabetes medication." You know what I mean? Yeah, we need to, you know, your blood pressure is high. You know, oh well, why is that? Well, man, because for 2 years you've been dealing with trauma-stricken, you know, situations, and it takes a toll on your physical. Before you finish up, I want to get Miss LaQuisha Moore, our resident therapist from the Titty Powwow show, jump. And I know she don't be trying to come and be the therapist when she jumps on. She wants to just be Quisha, but Quisha, I mean, you know what I mean? I know Quisha is drinking wine. She just wants to do that, But
she just wants to be the right titty tonight.
The right titty.
Exactly. Just tell us about that, because you have some real good insight into a lot of this, especially when it comes to Black men, because I feel like, I mean, even when you get into a good relationship, as Black men, and this is probably any man, any dad, any husband in the situation, like what's theirs is theirs and what's yours is theirs. You get yourself a bag of special chips. Guess what? They're not just yours. All right. Everybody's eating them, even though they ain't like that stuff before. All of a sudden now they like it. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I feel like, but there's, with us, we don't get emotionally driven by that stuff. It's like, okay, I can go buy another bag. Right. It's like, let them have it. This is my family. I love them. I'm trying to provide, protect, and it's all good. Whereas with them, it may be a little more like, why you eat my stuff? So you just don't mess with everybody else's stuff. You know what I mean? That's theirs. So I just feel like there's a couple of different weights that's on the shoulders. So Quisha, when you think about that, you've said before, you've kind of been on the men's side to say that, hey, men do deal with maybe a little bit more than women do. I don't know. I mean, what you think?
Oh, I totally think in particular, Black men deal with more than anybody. And that's why they do need therapy, not because like they're just sick and this, that, and the third, but they have a lot of odds stacked against them, out the gate. And then navigating that, I feel like they are emotionally stunted because they're taught not to express emotion, that they're taught to hold everything in and toughen up, talking about, and like be a man, just take whatever on the chin. And trauma really don't work like that. Disappointment, heartbreak, grief, all of that don't work like that. Over time, it's gonna affect you. I recently got someone new that's like, he's 63 years old, dealing with things that happen in childhood. So Black men are so important to even our family system, whether women are, whether you with your child's father or not, or with, whoever. But I think because they're fathers, they need therapy. We all need therapy, literally. Like, it should be as common as, going to the doctor. Like, if you may go and get a wellness checkup or something and realize you don't need any sessions, but at least you got checked on to see if you needed something or to see if something was going on with you. And the historical trauma, the generational trauma, all of it, I was, even when I was in that documentary, when I finally watched the documentary, one of the things that disappointed me was that there weren't.
Oh, and we lost you.
I think she fights with Spectrum too. Yeah, I think she fights with Spectrum too.
And and that's actually why I initially invited her to come on, was to talk about that documentary and promote it a little bit. She sent it to me and I forwarded it to a lot of friends. It was good stuff that we don't talk about often, to get swept under the rug.
Absolutely. I think, and that's the thing, is just when it comes to brothers, we just don't look at brothers and say, oh, brothers deal with XYZ. You know what I mean? It's like we have kind of taken that whole thing away where it comes to brothers dealing with any type of therapeutic situation. Like, in our culture, initially, it was looked at as, oh, you weak, you whack, you couldn't really just talk about that stuff.
Yeah, they call you soft in a second.
Exactly.
And in my head, I'm not even gonna lie, and I'll admit this to anybody. I've always had it's not that it's a facade, but when it came to me, I always look and I always tell people, no matter what's going on, you're never going to know. So I always had to never let them see you sweat attitude, never show any chinks in the armor. But then you can take that to the furthest extreme and you can start to fool yourself where you don't think you have issues or you don't think you need to talk to someone. But yeah, that's when you really need to talk to someone. When you start telling yourself, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. There's only so many I'm goods in a lifetime before you realize that you're not good.
Bro.
Agree.
And I've seen situations where a brother, took on a relationship knowing that someone was very damaged, and they said, "Yo, I'm gonna be here. I can handle this, that, and the other." And years into the relationship, they need therapy because they knew they could handle it, but they didn't know how it would affect them.
You know why?
And why?
I learned this over the past 2 years. Energy is transferable. And we all know about sexual energy, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Mm-hmm. And then how people say, oh, I know about energy. No, you don't. The reason I say people who talk they know about energy, they really don't. Because if they did, they would separate themselves from a lot of people that they claim they love and deal with. I'm to the point now, and I'm not the energy expert. By no means am I the say in and be all of all energy. But if you have negativity and you bring negativity, I don't deal with it. Today at work, I had a situation. I walk into one of the stores. There's a bunch of negativity. I'm there 5 minutes. I give you 5 minutes. If the energy doesn't change, guess what? You're not going to get me off kilter. If I can't change the situation, I change myself from the situation. That's how it is.
And I'm very, very big on energy. I wear my stones to protect me. I'm very big on energy. I'm with you right there. I will cut. And people say that about like, oh, you're such a Virgo. You cut people off. No, if your energy does not align with what I'm on, you gotta go. I cannot absorb that. And that's the thing, we absorb that.
Yeah, and I don't think people really, and that's what T-Dub is talking about. I mean, okay, there's one part of it where I'll say, look, people fall in love, and that's like, so that's where difficulties come. You know what I mean? Because I've seen people sit there, fall in love with somebody that they know, ultimately, or they learn very quickly is a toxic, traumatic person. And then you pretty much say, all right, and people around you will be like, why are you hey, that's the one you fell in love with. So that gets difficult when it comes to the whole love thing and dealing with somebody that's toxic, traumatic, or whatever. Then it's like, yeah, you might know all about that whole energy thing, but at the same time, you're trying to believe that, with the white knight syndrome, you're trying to believe that you laughing because
I do.
No!
In my head, I'm like, you can't love the hell out of someone. And I literally mean that. You cannot love the hell out of someone. You can love them, you can do for them, and you can want. But if they want to be a certain way, they're not going to change. That's going to be that person. So if they have that hell in them, now I understand what my mom was saying. You can't love the hell out of someone. You hear that as a kid, you like, yeah, I can. I love the hell out of this girl. No, you can't love the hell out of someone. So I understand. It's like I'm almost 50 now. I understand half the shit my mom was saying. I'm like, why did it take so long?
Ain't that amazing how that works?
Right.
It's like them late ass light bulbs and shit. You know what I mean? They finally go off. And I mean, it's one of those things. But again, I think that the world does not really get it when it comes to the melanated man. I'm not making no excuses, but I'm just gonna say that, you know, that first you got a t-shirt you can't take off, you know, that black t-shirt. It's always there. Now I do understand the changing of thinking. I mean, that is something that I subscribe to so much. The mental is everything. There's nothing in life, there's nothing on this earth that does not involve the mental, does not involve being able to change the mental. There's nothing that everything involves the subconscious mind, and a change in that is what changes anything. You know, I mean, we can protest all day long. I promise y'all nothing changed until mindsets change. We'll continue to go through the same thing for another 403 years. I'm telling you, unless mindset changes. So that's the biggest thing. And here's the thing. Your mindset may not change, you know, to the point to where you just, you know, because you're still going to go through some stuff. Let me tell you what you got to know how to do. You have to know how to go and find that safe, wherever that safe space is, whatever it is. You got to know how to go get to that immediately, as quickly as you possibly can. So, like for me, it's listening to positive affirmation type videos or positive motivational speakings and things that's my safe space. That's where I go when my mental, I mean, that's where I go in general. But literally, like, especially when my mental, when I'm looking and it's not going the way that it should be, that's my safe space. I go to that pumps me up, that gets my mind moving in the right direction, and I can continue to deal with the world. But that's driving in the car. That's waking up in the morning, getting dressed, taking a shower. I go to those safe spaces, you know, at those times because you know, you need it. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, and this is why I love my DJ team so much. So when I was going through my stuff, my boy Q, Matt, Unique, other Q, 6ix9ine, all of them, they would hit me up like, yo, you all right? No. Hey, go hit them turntables. Q would literally get in his car, drive from one end to the beach all the way to where I'm at, and come over here, plug my shit up, throw on a hard drive, and say, come on, work on this mix. And I'd be like, no, I'm not feeling it. And he just started mixing. And anybody who knows me knows, you start mixing around me and you start scratching, I got to see what's going on. And then it was like, all right, I'll get on for a little bit. And then slowly but surely in my therapy and this coming around, because I honestly was about to give all of this up. So between Q and a few other people, I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm just done. And when I got this new stuff, and Q was like, yeah, this is what you need right here. And he was like, I tell you what, you know, if you're going to come back, people are going to say you whack. And people calling me whack. This is where your ego and your friends who know you, they know to play on your ego. You're not going to call me whack in front of some turntables. I'm sorry, that's not happening. I don't care if Jazzy Jeff is there. You're not going to call me whack. So it was like, you know what? All right, let me get back in. And then I got the love back. Like I had lost, when you lose yourself, that is when the worst thing to do is to lose yourself loving other people. And my mom used to always tell me, you can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't.
So as a kid,
speaking of that right there, when you say that, pull it from empty cup, Enzo Chester jumps in and says, I had to learn you can't help somebody or support somebody or love somebody if they drain. All right? Because you can't move from an empty cup, right? If they drain all the help and support and love out of you, you know, you're talking about a person that's so toxic that as you continue, you know, you trying to help, you're surprised like on the daily because you're just like, how can a person be like this? And they drain all the help and support because you're giving them all your help and support and love out of you. If you gotta go borrow some more from somebody else, be it another person or therapy, just to keep it going every day. You gotta have a deep conversation about it, and or you gotta use the last of it you got to love, help, support yourself, and leave them to themselves. Yo, I would say that would
That nigga
definitely be my
spitting.
suggestion. That would be my suggestion right there.
Very true.
You know,
Yeah.
don't, you know, you may be able to help them, but man, leave them, write down the number of therapists and just walk away. Let that be a dear
Yeah.
dear John letter, like 555-555-5555. You know what I mean?
And chuck
Write the
the,
number down
and
of a
chuck the
therapist.
deuces.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Write the
And
number
chuck
down of
the
a therapist.
deuces.
Just leave that shit. Just be like, listen, you need help, and then put the number there, and then just walk out. Like that's the shit you need to do. Because outside of that, you try to stay, you help, bro. You're gonna end up damaged, and it's gonna go from the mental to the physical. I'm telling you. Like I didn't seen it. So, you know, with that in mind, then it's all good. But bro, you're bringing some good information tonight because there's so many people out there. You know, even though I feel like, I don't know if y'all agree or not, but I feel like Charlemagne really opened it up for the melanated community over the last several years here, as he started talking about therapy. You know what I
You
mean?
said Charlemagne and I got scared.
Charlemagne the God.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I feel like he opened it up. You know, he's a weird dude, you know, the way he jokes and stuff with DJ Envy, but, you know, still, you know, I feel like he speaks some good shit for the community. And I feel like opening up about therapy was a big thing. And I feel like because he did, as a celebrity, that it opened the doors for a lot of people. What y'all think?
I'm going to agree with that. And what I would say is, there's a DJ. I'm never going to say his name. 2 years ago, New Year's, it was Christmas time. Flight and Stilettos, that's her IG. She did a thing on therapy, and I was her guest, and she interviewed me about therapy. And at the time, I told her, yes, I'm in therapy, and I told her, you know, and we talked about it. And he was watching that, and he hit me in the DM, and he said the same thing you said. He said, between you and Charlemagne, I think I may need to go to therapy. My reply to him was, if you think you need to go, you're a week too late. So go ahead and go.
Mhm.
And he finally went, and he told me it was about 6 months ago. He was like, yo, that was the best thing I ever did. Thank you. And I was like, no problem. I was like, now get on them turntables and let me bust that ass because I owe you one. So, but
Yeah, I think Charlemagne definitely made people more comfortable with therapy. I did watch like a session. Did y'all remember when he had that like kind of like live session with a therapist?
yes.
And so it was some things I think about that therapeutic process that was a little different, but I do think that he gave us an idea about therapy, or he made it more acceptable, definitely for Black men to pursue therapy. And I apologize for my son was blowing me up about this paper and I disconnected me, but I do feel like he opened the doors for people, or opened people's eyes about it, and made it more acceptable. The only thing that I think goes on now is like a lot of times people try to use therapy to abuse people, like be like, oh, you need therapy, you this or you that, you need therapy. Or when people I find that when people do get diagnosis with stuff, their diagnosis gets used against them, like when they're upset about something. So it'd be like, oh, well, nah, you manic right now, or you being bipolar or whatever, and it's not really what's happening. So I think also when you're in therapy, how much you share about your information, I think it should be kind of.
I know we lost her.
And there's
You know what? And I agree with what she was saying. And I agree with what she was saying. You notice that here lately, the word gaslighting and narcissists is thrown around so freely. Like everything's a gaslight. Everybody's a narcissist. And it's also it's almost being used as a way to abuse people.
It is, and it's funny because I've heard, and this is so funny. I've heard a female literally tell me, she said, "Who hurt you? You need to go to therapy." I'm like, "Sweetheart, ain't nobody hurt me. Ain't nobody hurt me again in my life. That will never happen again. I can guarantee that." But I tell you what, therapy is something that I do regularly. And when you say that to me in a negative way, I just kindly flip it on it, flip it on his head, give it back to you, and walk away. Because that is the most denigrating thing you can say to someone, especially if you know that they've been to therapy, to use that against them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Dave Chappelle said, calling someone crazy is messed up, and people just kind of would say the word crazy. Are you crazy? It's dismissive is what that is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So with that in mind, like even myself, I've watched the way, that's being used, outside of just something playful with someone. Then, you can't just really say that, because we're living in a world. I mean, in the United States, let's just be real. This is a store. That's what we live in. We live in a store. It's a marketplace.
It's a real marketplace.
It is. People want to come here because they know they can come here and there's an opportunity to create or do or make something happen that they can't make in their country, because that's just their country is not a marketplace. Their country is a place that focuses more on family and friends and growing your foods and catching your foods and stuff like that. I mean, their country is that. In America, this is a marketplace. But let's not be unreal about it. Yo, if you live in this marketplace, bro, you need therapy just off of that.
It's the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
This is America is everything. So, and Joe, you're going to agree with me 110%. Being a male, not even a black male, just being a male, from the day you're born, you have zero value. You have no value, but you have competition for the little value that you try to get. So every time you build yourself up, it's competition. From the day a guy comes out the womb, he's in competition with other men. If it's not for resources, if it's not for clout, if it's not for a woman, if it's not for a job, if it's not for anything that a man sees feasible to define a man, to make himself, to build him up to top kick, it's a competition. And that alone lets you know how crazy it is in America that you're a guy and kids and you have to be in competition just to make a name for yourself.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. And when I have had in recent years to really focus on flipping my mentality. Flipping my mentality to where I don't subscribe to certain things. So like, for instance, myself personally, I don't subscribe to racism in the traditional manner, right? Because racism doesn't exist in my world, because I don't sit there and I don't focus on it, right? So it's the same thing with this. All interactions with police officers is great, safe, and wonderful. I don't deal with the racism. Now I can sit here and have dreads in my head that I'm growing for the last year or whatever. And I just don't deal with it because I don't subscribe to it. So even outside of that, when it comes to this whole thing, I've had to flip my mentality and stop dwelling on the woe is me and the issues that are there. And I had to. So for me, I believe I'm dope. right?
You are.
So in my mind, I'm dope. So I've had to subscribe to that, because if I didn't subscribe to that, then dwelling in or sulking in the woes of the world that the world throws on me, I would just, you know what I mean? Again, we have those thoughts, every now and then, and to dwell in those thoughts, it's easy to do because there's so much weight on these shoulders. But I mean, the truth of the matter is I'm so dope as I move through life effortlessly with nobody realizing how much of that weight that I'm dealing with. How many times I sit and I how many times does a brother come on your show and tell their story and you damn near tear up because you can relate to it? You know what I mean? People don't know that, because that's how dope I am, because I roll through life effortlessly without people knowing that stuff. You know what I mean?
What you think you become. Like another one of the things my mom tell me. So if my mom used to always tell me, what you think you become. And I was like, what? She said,
Absolutely.
Think about it. Think about a red car. And she said, now go down the street. How many red cars do you see? You're like, damn, I see 5, 6, 7, 8 red cars. You never noticed them before, but you notice them because you think about it. So now my mindset is to the point of negative things happen. That's not even a bad day. That's a bad moment in a wonderful day. And guess what? Like you said, you navigate through it. I skip on past it because in my mind, you know what? Today's going to be a dope day. Today's going to be a good day. I'm the bomb. And I tell you now, I'm the shit. Like I call myself the GOAT. GOOAT. Greatest opener of all time. Nobody on this planet is the best opener, can open up any set. I'll open up for Kid Capri. I'll open up for your mama. And guess what? It'll be the best opening set you ever had. But that's my mindset. And I say it so much that I believe it. Not only do I believe it, you got other people believing it. Like Joe said, you know that you dope because you said it. I tell my daughter all the time, you can do anything you put your mind to it. Not because you put your mind to it, because you can do it. And I tell her, I don't believe in can't, won't, I can't do it. It's too hard. Do it. And you will see that you can. So
it's all about word therapy. So even when it comes to and I want to get Quisha in here and get Pretty Brown Skin in here as well on this, but it's all about word therapy, because when it comes to that, it's like even with what you just said, it's not a bad moment. It was a challenging moment.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
That. I like that.
If you flip that, you know what I mean? Challenges are made and meant to be overcome.
Yep.
So I'm so cautious, so ever so cautious about the things that come out of my mouth on a daily basis, because I so believe, I have honestly, whatever the pill is, I know for a fact beyond a shadow of a doubt that this world is an absolute matrix. I truly believe it. And if you want to get biblical on it, for some of y'all who that's your deity, right? I'm gonna tell you, it as a man speaketh, so shall it be. All right. So
yes,
with
the
that
power
in
of life
mind,
and death is in the tongue.
Is in the tongue. You have the ability to speak it. It doesn't mean if I sit here and say I want a sewing machine, it doesn't mean that a sewing machine is going to come out of thin air and just pop up in my hands. I mean, when you get to be that dope, then let me know. But it does mean if you focus on that sewing machine, if you sit and think about how that sewing machine sounds, the things that you're going to do with that sewing machine, the things you're going to create with that sewing machine, it will mean that somewhere in the universe, there will be a domino effect that will have a sewing machine end up in your space at some moment in the near future. Absolutely. Positively.
I got to second that. I got to tell you something real funny real quick. So, and this is going to be kind of counterproductive. I told a woman one time, I said, you know what? When I first saw you, I said, I'm going to get her. And it happened. And she said, well, that's the universe answering your request. And then in my head, I'm like, yeah, now the universe didn't tell me how to keep her though. But that is so true. That is so true when you say that. That's why I tell myself I don't worry about my job, because I always say, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and be the best. I don't worry about anything else. I'm gonna be the best. Like even tonight, I was a little nervous, but then I said I'm amongst family. So you know what? This is gonna be easy. And this has been easy. And I didn't even cry. I told you.
You did good. Well, it's been rough for me because I'm like, I finally figured out how to turn Do Not Disturb on because I've been having issues with people calling me. But I definitely agree with the manifestation that you're talking about, Joe, because literally, I watched a documentary back in like 2011 or 12 or something about girls being sold and stuff, human trafficking, and I was like, man, I wanna do that. I wanna bring awareness to like sexual trauma, this, that, and third. And you know that I ended up in a documentary like in the same, and that girl, she used her own story to get to where she was. And it was like I just manifested it, came out the blue, literally. So I do believe in it.
Yo, speaking of that, tell us about this documentary that you did.
Yes, I'm sorry because I remember somebody called when I was trying to tell you about men. The thing I was disappointed they didn't have black men in there, but I think black men are more reluctant to like open up about sexual abuse, even though they experience it too. But the documentary I'm in is called "Believe Me, Hope and Help for sexual assault survivors," and it basically like chronicles the stories of like 12 survivors, myself being one of them. And they talk about basically how, you know, how things happen to you, how you respond to it, the psychological effects that you experience when you've been traumatized in that way, and how you view the world, yourself, your body. Some of the people on there, you know, ended up having issues with substance abuse, having issues with promiscuity and stuff. And so I just thought it was dope that they were being very honest, and even like what is it, T-Dub? What was it?
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
able to
family
be
now.
honest about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm family now. You just call me Dub.
Okay, Dub. So it chronicles that, but I just think it's a very powerful representation of what sexual trauma victims go through and how they are affected over time, and how long lasting those effects are. When you even look at that documentary, some of the, even my own trauma was, you know, between the ages of 12 and 15 years old. And probably in the last few years of maybe the last 5 really like started sitting with that in a way that doesn't affect me, or I don't have a lot of psychological issues, or even if I'm triggered, I don't have a strong emotional response to being triggered. So
Can we
I hope that
play a
you
little
guys
snippet of this?
please do.
Would you mind?
You could
Absolutely.
play it.
Let's do this. I want to play a little snippet of this. It's called "Believe Me, Help and Hope for Sexual Assault Survivors." We're talking about therapy tonight. DJ T-Dub, Miss LaQuisha Moore from the Titty Powwow Show. She's the left titty. So listen up real quick, y'all.
My abuser. It's a huge problem. I think, like, even when you look at the numbers, we say 1 in 4, but I stand here.
Breaking up, Joe.
When you do this work for long enough, you can't see them as numbers, you see them as people. So whenever I read this there's a story behind all of that. Thinking about the fact that, like I said, 39% of Kentucky.
All right, so
Look, I can just tell
did that work out?
It was breaking up.
You know what? Let's just throw the
it
link
was real
up
choppy.
on
Okay,
our
yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah,
Let's
we're gonna
just
put
throw
the link
on our
up,
Facebook
and
page so people can find it.
Yeah, y'all can watch that.
And I'm gonna put it in the comments right now.
But it just
I'm gonna put it in the comments.
Highlights the psychological effects and also ways to get help, and the importance of therapy for not only victims of sexual trauma but anything. So I think that Black men, one of the things that I was hoping to bring to this discussion is like, I hope that one day Black men feel more comfortable about talking about the actual abuses that they endure, whether that comes from, sexual trauma, even physical abuse with parents and stuff. Like, there are a lot of Black men that are hurting in ways that we don't ever know. We only see the behaviors that come out as a result of their hurt, whether it be, issues with anger and irritability, all kind of like sexual addictions, insecurities, like strong insecurities that lead to self-sabotaging choices and decision making. And so those are the things that I feel like have to be addressed and uncovered, the layers that Black men need to take off and be able to be real about their pain.
What why do you think that there's an emphasis, or should be an emphasis, on melanated men or the melanated community when it comes to therapy? Is post-traumatic slave syndrome like a real thing, or post-traumatic slave disorder? Is that like a real
It's
thing?
not a real diagnosis, but I do believe it's a real thing when you think about oppression and the history of our country and the things that Black men still endure, the long-lasting effects of oppression. And literally, there are a lot of Black men who are growing up without fathers and stuff and don't really have no direction. And so I really loved when Dubs was like, that his mom told him to go pray for direction, because that, to me, that's a lot of men don't have direction, and they don't even recognize that they've not been able to reach certain points because they don't really know themselves fully. And so they just engage in basically self-sabotage and blame other people for the fallout of their choices. And another thing that Dubs brought up that I thought was important too is when he talked about how he would do things and then other people would confront you about them, and then you would maybe lie or gaslight them on what was going on. And I thought that was important too.
Yeah, one thing I can tell you, there's a word that in my house when I was growing up, my father, he instilled that in you, and that was accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And he would tell you, I'm gonna mess up, I'm gonna do this, and he done messed up in life. But one thing I can tell you, it's all about accountability, and you learn it later on in life, whether it's good or bad. That's one word that if you hold on to and you live that, it makes it a lot easier to deal with things. And I'll be the first to say it. When I was going through my issues, I took no accountability. It was always somebody else's fault. Never was mine. Like, accountability was like kryptonite to Superman to me. Like, I was away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, accountability is important. I'm definitely a more confrontational therapist. Like, I call people out when I think that they are like not being real with me about what's going on. And I think it's important because you have to come to the table with honesty. Like you said, the first time around, you wasn't being so honest with your therapist. And you can't really get the help you need if you're not really being honest. And you really just wasting your time and somebody else's if you're not being truly honest about what's happening.
So, time that they won't get back.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I think some people go to therapy just to say they got a therapist. Like some people just view therapy as a status symbol or something.
Because it's trendy now.
We didn't. Yeah, we made it a fad now. So I got a therapist. I got $1 million plane and a therapist. Like that's that next level. Like I got a therapist. Like, what you got?
But are you being real with your therapist? Are you being honest? Are you addressing you or undressing you? Literally, not literally, but undressing you, your mental.
I mean, and that's the reality. You gotta not be afraid to get naked. With your therapist, and that's the reality of it. is, you know, you get naked, and you know, all you can do is hope that as you get naked, your therapist isn't, you know, that good looking. You know, but no, I mean
One
for
goes
real, you
old.
know, you gotta you gotta you gotta focus on really for real just getting naked and being okay with that, because that's supposed to be a safe space, and that's the one place that you should be able to be like, yo, like, you know what I mean, you know, I let me just let it all out, because I'm telling you, once you let it all out, once you really are vulnerable, and you and for men, you will find the greatest of masculinity in the midst of allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do. And it's a masculine thing, because there's like two people you're vulnerable with. Your wife slash lady, longtime woman, whatever you want to call, and your therapist. You know what I mean?
That's true, because I think the best sessions that I had is the ones that I broke down. Like Tiff told me, she said, okay, when I broke down, she said, now that we got the bullshit out the way, we can begin. And I'm like, man, we 5-6 sessions in. What are you talking about begin? And she said, no, we got the bullshit out the way. Now we can begin.
It literally takes that long.
And it was like, wow, okay. I was like, man, it took me to cry. She was like, no. She said, now that I know you're being honest with yourself, you'll be honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, damn.
Because you ain't about to cry in front of nobody unless that's some real shit.
Yes.
Because we know the makeup of a man, we also know the makeup of a black man. And we were taught in opposition to that, boy, suck it up. You know what I mean?
Man up.
Suck it up. Man up. Don't no, we don't cry over here. You know, I saw my dad cry one time in my life. No, at this point, 2 times in my life. The first time was when his father died. That was I was probably 13, 12 years old, something like that. And I can remember in the hallway, and my dad's weeping. He wasn't crying. He was weeping. Like this was some deeper than crying type shit. And I'm a kid, and they pushing me over to him like, hey, go be with your dad. I didn't know what the hell to do, because I ain't never seen this man cry. Didn't know what that was. Like, you know, why does he have water coming from his eyes? What about, get a cup? Like, what's going on here? You know?
That's true.
So, I mean, I didn't know. And so to see him cry, and then the second time was when my mother died. That's the second time I seen him cry. And you know, I was 15, so you're talking 8 years ago. As you know, some grown man, and that's the second time I seen my dad cry. Never seen him cry more than those 2 times. Now that's not to say anything about you know, what he did or didn't do as far as my thinking as it pertains to, you know, not wanting to cry, because that's the way it's supposed to be. But again, I mean, his father taught him that, you know, and he taught me that, like, you know, we don't cry, you know. And so I think part of that is, again, it goes back to being a melanated man is, you know, again, you're not going to cry in front of these white people neither. You know what I mean?
Well,
you know, we grew up with that part as well.
That's kind of some of the that is probably some of the things that keep people from going to therapy, particularly Black people, is we've been taught, like, don't tell them white people your business, you know, or don't share this or that. And I think because systemically we were abused back in the day by giving up certain information. But I tell people all the time, you don't even have to go to a Black therapist. You just have to go to a culturally competent therapist, because literally there's not even enough Black therapists to accommodate the amount of people that even Black people that need therapy. So you have to find a therapist that is culturally competent, but, you know, and find somebody you can get comfortable with.
Yeah. Brother Matthew Johns, he says, I didn't even believe in therapy until I met my therapist. Now she's pulling all my life out and putting it on the table. Enzo Chester says, a lot of it is finding the right therapist too. I had to go through about 6 to 7 therapists I thought was going to be a perfect match and somehow stumbled upon the right person. That sounds like what the Brat and them is going through right now. They had a weird approach to that. They had a weird approach too that got me to open up, which was instead of calling me out, they said, hey, that's okay. I get paid anyway. So if you need to just sit here, I'm here for that. And then eventually I went. Why the hell am I paying $109 an hour just to sit and not make any changes? Let me go do what I'm paying for. The rest, yeah. So, you know, when you think about that, and let me tell you this, hey, you know, some of y'all, you know, I done been there. Some of y'all got Medicaid. You know what I mean? You got state insurance. Guess what? Y'all be sitting around thinking that you know, you can't get, no, you got therapy included with that Medicaid. You know what I mean? So you know, and I'm telling you what, you get the right therapist and they'll bill on one person's Medicaid and you can get the other toxic person in there too. You know what I mean? And y'all both get in therapy on that one Medicaid bill. You know what I mean? It worked the numbers out. But I'm just telling you, don't sit around and think because you got state insurance that you don't get. Nah. You more than anybody get it included. So stop playing.
And then
you know what I mean?
A lot of employers, they have the EAP, Employee Assistance Program.
Yep.
And a lot of them have 6 sessions, but a lot of therapists have talked to various insurance companies, and it's now to 6 to 10 to 12 sessions that you don't even have to pay for, that they give to you. And that's either yearly or quarterly to help with your mental.
Yep. Yep. They're trying to keep you.
Gives you 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they trying to keep you from blowing shit up. I mean, it's be real. They're trying to keep you from, you know what I mean? You know, I mean, there's a lot of people.
It's funny, but it's true. That's what they do it for.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is important. I had an EAP contract with Metro United Way, and so 70 of their nonprofits in their blocks program had access to my services for 6 sessions. So it is important.
It's not because they really care. They don't. I mean, they care about you, but you know, it's looked at like the game. But I mean, the reality is that if you go postal and you take out 10 people, then you just mess with their bottom line immediately. So you know what I mean? We can't replace that many people that fast. So you know what I mean? They're trying to get you before you go crazy. Go ahead, Quish.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also people, if you have home life issues, that can affect the way that you working, or vice versa. So, you know, it's just another way to get some free sessions in if you need them.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you know, so you know, I definitely think this is the subject that we can talk about on and on again, because there's so much of a need for the therapy. And again, I want to apologize for, you know, not being on camera as much tonight. This is really, I'm trying to save some bandwidth because Spectrum is like really on my shit list right now. So I'm trying to save bandwidth right now by not being on camera.
Money.
Man, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need some EAP after this. You know, mess around with Spectrum, you know, so I'm gonna blow up the spot, you know. But either or, you know, 18% of men have experienced contact sexual violence. There is therapy that's needed for so many different things, And as men, and especially as Black men, we have been taught to keep so much to ourselves and not let it out, not let it be known. And there's no way. I'm here to tell you that as strong as you believe that you are, when it comes to mindset and emotions, bro, like, you know what I mean? You just do not know how that will hit later. And in a lot of ways, what it does is it affects the physical right off the bat. You know what I mean? And that's where anybody who's close enough to you that's paying attention, that's where they will look and see that something's not right with that person, because they can see the physical effects that's happening.
I got one more for you, Joe. My mom said
Go ahead,
you
bro.
can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. That was another one, and that's what she
That's
told
a
me.
good one.
Yeah, you know, you can go through and coast through and act like you don't need it, but the people who really know you, the people who care about you, they know, don't they, T?
Yeah, I would say that ultimately therapy helps you to unpack your trauma and drama, and helps you to replace the negative beliefs that you've built up as a result of your experiences with positive beliefs. So that's why you set therapeutic goals that are consistent with what you need to change, and you identify, like, how has my life experiences impacted me, you know, and what negative beliefs do I have about myself? Like, somebody who's been beaten on or something, they might think I deserve that, you know, that my mother or father was beating on me because I deserve that. I did something to bring that about, and that's not true. So they have to be reprogrammed to see that, you know, that the abuse that they endured is not their fault. You know, that the way somebody chooses to discipline you or chooses to treat you is not necessarily a reflection of even your behavior, or that the behaviors that you might be exhibiting don't warrant that level of discipline or abuse, you know? So it's just really unpacking it and replacing negative beliefs with positive beliefs, and creating new goals for your life and for your mindset.
You're good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
That's
I'm sorry
that's
I
and
got
that's
cut
what we're
off so
talking
many
about.
times. I wanted to dig in this earlier.
It's all good. It's all good. And you know, I'm just, you know, I'm glad that we're having this conversation. I really want to you know, this is something that we need to highlight more. We've talked about it on the Tipping Point show. And I was going to do that shameless plug earlier when he said, Dub said the tipping point was,
I caught
and
that.
I was going to, you know, go ahead and do that shameless plug. But with that in mind, we'll be, you know, because we'll be back coming soon with the Tipping Point show, back on the spot. But you know, it's a thing where there's so much to unpack when it comes to the melanated community. I feel bad right times because I'm just like, down to call us and shit. You know, do we call them African Americans, or do we call them Black people, or American descendants of slaves? Like, what do we call them?
I'm not
I
pouring
don't.
another
Are they
glass of
colored?
wine.
Are we going back to colored? You know, I mean,
We are the only people that
I'm just saying. I mean,
got 100
you gotta
different
think.
titles.
I'm not pouring another glass of wine. I'm not dealing with
And
shit
we
no
like to
more.
use all of them, and we can't even agree on which one to use. You know what I mean?
He
I
said
seen
the
somebody
American
make an
people
acronym for nigga
descendants
the
of
other day. I was
slaves.
like, God.
No, people don't be called that name.
But hold up, did you just say the American
Descendants of
African
Slaves? That's a
descendants?
thing, bro. ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves.
Did I not warn you before
No,
we
the
started?
American Descendants of Slaves. I'm telling you, that's a thing.
That he was not going to behave.
Oh my God!
Like, that's
You
a
were warned he
thing,
would
bro.
behave.
Like, American Descendants of Slaves. It's paying homage. It's paying homage to, you know, because it's almost like wearing the hey, we made it through slavery as a badge of honor. You know what I mean? So American descendants of slaves, as opposed to like white and Black, you know, going to melanated or American descendants of slaves and European. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I mean, think about it. If you really think about it, Black. I mean, that right there is a need for therapy in and of itself. What does Black come with? What does that connotation come with? It comes with so much of the weight Massa created the word. Massa, you know what I mean? And we still running around talking about something I'm black. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We still running around talking about I'm black, yet Massa gave us that title. Massa choose that to differentiate the slave working class from the elite. That's where white and black came from. And here we are hundreds of years later, you know, over 400 to be exact, since 1619, right? And we still using that. You know what I mean? And so that in and of itself, and the contradiction and the confusion of African American and this, that, niggas don't know what to call each other. You know what I mean? You know, people just stopping in the streets about to slap hands and they just look and they're like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like nobody knows what to say to each other anymore. You know, so you know,
my little sister told me that when she was one of my little sisters, she was locked up before, but she told me she was locked up that they called each other Obamas, and she got put in the hole for that because they was calling each other my Obama.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's crazy weird. Because like I literally was doing that same thing, calling each other my Obamas. As soon as Obama became president, I got caught up in the hype too. I was like, yeah, nigga, we can go slap people now. It's no problem. We won't even get in trouble. You know what I mean? My Obama, what's up? Like but when we was talking about that, we were saying it as a way to like not say nigga. You know what I mean? Because I really, you know, I don't agree with the whole, we done took the word and we done flipped it and made it a positive thing. Okay, why that white man said as a teacher, and now he on the news talking about something, but I said nigga. I said nigga. I didn't say nigga. I said nigga. You know what I mean? See?
And then they put it on the
and that's that mumble rap that's still fucking that shit up.
I played that for my daughter
all that mumble rap.
You know she just could not believe that actually happened. I played that for her. She goes, "What school is that?" She was floored. She's 10. And then they made it.
Well, yeah, I mean, now they probably rate that dude if that freaking happened. You know, it's crazy. Like the kids was
down at Valley High School.
You know,
yeah, it was the episode of the Boondocks. I was like, why does Kentucky gets put on TV? We've been on the Boondocks twice, ain't we?
Yeah, y'all have.
The teacher and then the Booty Warrior.
Yeah, y'all been on TV a couple times.
And now we in the news because of 10 girls working at McDonald's.
We can't stay out of the news, you know. We just, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, you know, it's all good. You know, so I mean, you know, I'm glad we're having this conversation. You know, we should do another part of this, and we should bring you back.
I agree.
If that's cool with you, man, we should bring you back because I think we can continue this conversation. Because I'm you know, I feel like it's important. It needs to be talked about more. And then let's look at all the different solution-driven avenues, because you know, ultimately, like I said, you know, for me, it's you know, motivational videos, affirmation videos. You know, I gotta get in that place. You know, it's either that or, you know, I can punch holes through walls, you know what I mean? It's that, or, you know, let me not grab you one-handed and lift you up 3 feet off the ground, you know, by your neck. Let me not do that because I'm keeping my mind in a safe space.
No, that's true. Yeah, I love to come back, man. I got stories for days. Like when a friend of mine told me I need to write a book, and I was like, "Wow." She said to tell your story. I said, "No, I'll just do an interview and do it." She was like, "No, you need to write a book." I'm like, "No." So I was a friend of mine that introduced me to this men's Bible therapy. It was one of the best things ever, and I known her from when we were kids. And I met her husband, and he and I was in this group, and he and I got close. And it was good talking to men about the issues we go through, Black, white, Hispanic, just talking about the different things we go through and coupling that with religion. And then it was to the point of we started talking and telling our stories, and it became a text group of us telling different stories of what we go through. So trust me, Joe, I got plenty of therapy stories for you.
Yeah, and you know, and that's important right there. I'm gonna throw that out there as a big solution-driven move. Is you know, as a man, we may not see it as much. We may not see the mentors. We may not see the other men that look like us that have gone through and going through. We may not know it. We may not know that we see it. We may not know that they're there. But mentor, you know, that's something that we teach the ladies as well. As we talk about dating a lot of times on this show is, hey, that's a question to ask that man. Who's his mentor? Yeah. You know, who's in his life? So I'm gonna say that for the men, hey, go get you some mentors. You know, go get somebody that's older than you that you can talk to. I'm fortunate in that respect. I've been that way since I was a kid, where I always had older brothers in my life. And I've always had older brothers that I could that you know what I mean was like mentors. So and now I'm at the point where I'm on the level with these older brothers, but they're still like my mentors. Like they're still people that I reach out to, you know, talk to. I mean, I called one of my old heads up today, and he's my guy. And I said, who's your financial advisor? You know, I got some conversation that I want to have. So, you know, that's you need those type of people. If you don't have those type of people in your life, then let me just say this: you need to go get those type of people.
Very true.
Right? That you know, need those type of people in your life. It's so important. Help keep you grounded. Help you know, people you can talk to move, to keep you sane and moving in the right direction. So, you know, with that being said, then it has been yet again another episode of No Panties After Dark. Sis, I want to hear from you before we go. You know what I mean? Let me hear something from you before we go. What's on your mind about this show? What you think?
I thought this was an amazing show. My devices tried to die on me a few minutes ago because we went way over. I'm just so honored that Dub chose our platform to come and tell his story. We go back a lot of years. We got a lot of history, and I'm just so elated that you are here. I'm so happy, and I hope you come back again.
Nah, I will. And for all those who don't know, she know when I was talking about relationships that was ruined, that it was one with her, because me and her were really tight, and then I started dealing with this woman, and then our friendship dissolved, which it shouldn't have been that way, but I allowed that to happen.
We were always friends. I just had to take a...
Hey, what happened? Look, what do y'all got? Spectrum out there?
Man, that's all it is, bro. And you know, and I can't get AT&T at my house just yet, you know. But when they're here, they're fiber. I will be on it. But yeah, man, it's one of those situations. I know for me right now, this wine glass, when it gets down to here, then it's time for the show to end. You know what I mean?
Time to wind down.
Absolutely, bro. It's been fantastic. I appreciate you. And let's go ahead and let's make sure that we link up so we can create another show, bro, because this has been fantastic. I love this conversation. I feel like it's needed, it's necessary. We may not even have as many people that will comment, but there's so many people watching. And I think a lot of times people get scared because they know how this platform is open. It's not private. It's not a situation where, you know, if you speak, people gonna see. But you can't be afraid of that. Like, that's the thing. True. When it comes to brothers, man, we got so much bravado. You know, we thugs over here, but you know, we sensitive thugs over here. You know what I mean? Right. And we gotta stop that and just, you know, be thug all with everything. Be a thug about how you speak truth of your situation. You know, be a thug about how you love on yourself. You know what I mean? Be a thug about it. You know what I mean? If that's what you need in order to pump you up to move you forward. So with that being said, brother, You know, it's been fantastic. It's been great. We will see you again. We'll plan that. And, you know, for everybody out there, we appreciate y'all tuning in to No Panties After Dark. Yet again, another episode. And all I can say is that we'll see y'all same place, same time. All right. Peace.
No panties after dark. Your adult relationship conversation. Going where most don't. Speaking on things most don't. It's no panties after dark. We put the